So, you have a tent and a rig, and you love overlanding. You have plans to do it big, on the trails and some super glamping? Want ideas, tips, news, and reviews? A podcast that's first rate and here just for you? You don't have to think about it. Join us and be about it. Something interesting? We want to hear about it. Come on, let's talk about it. Welcome to Waypoint Overland's Random Waypoints podcast.
Sponsored by Midland, communication for every adventure. The industry leader in radio communication technology and innovation for over 50 years. Sponsored by MYMEDIC. Sponsored by TEMBO TUSK. Sponsored by Trail Rated Coffee Company.
Always remember, the opinion you follow should be your own. Just consider the things stated here to be a second opinion from a complete stranger online.
Hi, I'm Phil from Waypoint Overland, and you're listening to Random Waypoints. All right, so here we go. Welcome to another episode of the Random Waypoints podcast. We'll be doing an episode every week. So like, share, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell to make sure you don't miss an episode. This week, we're in Plain, Washington at the Overland Rally, and we have a special guest, CONQUEST OVERLAND. Now, before we talk to him, I want to tell you why he's sitting in this chair. Okay, he's another person on my bucket list. He's one of the handful of people who's on my bucket list. Now, you guys know I know a lot of people. So why is this gentleman on my bucket list? Well, first, I like what he does. If you don't watch already, you need to be watching his YouTube channel on CONQUEST Overland. Also, he has an excellent Instagram, but I'm recommending the YouTube. Watch the YouTube. And what he does is, he basically goes out in this beautiful truck that's kitted out to perfection. He goes out to remote places here in Washington. He camps out, he does beautiful cinematography, and he inspires others to get out. If he hasn't inspired you already, hopefully this interview will inspire you to do so from now on. Or at least watch his channel, because I highly recommend it. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Phil. I appreciate you having me. Thank you.
So, how did the YouTube channel first start?
I would say it kind of naturally evolved from just taking photos. Every weekend trip that I went out, it was just one where I captured the adventure, shared it with family and friends, and then one day at work, one of my colleagues said, "Hey, why don't you try doing a video?" So on my cell phone, which is all I used at the time, I just hashed a couple clips together, put a little bit of happy music underneath it, and said, "Here you go." Here was a weekend trip, and it kind of evolved from there. I got the bug, if you will, and I wanted to, one, challenge myself to make a more compelling story, a more visually compelling something to watch. And I just wanted to tell a story of how you can get out, even on a weekend, and have an adventure of any size. And it just took off from there.
Wow. So, was the quality back then the same as it is now? Or has this been a slow progression?
It's been a slow self-learning progression, I would say, because at the time, like I mentioned, I had just my cell phone, so I was recording everything on that. It also served as my navigation, and it served as flying the drone. So the battery percentage, I don't think, was any higher than 10%. It was doing a lot of work. So from there, it obviously evolved with the equipment, kind of evolved with the trips, the truck itself, a lot of items that I felt like I needed versus what I wanted also kind of carried along too. And it just all natural progression of just learning the ropes, learning what I needed, and then documenting the story as well. And it just kind of has been a self-progression from there, and I'm still refining it. It's never done. You're never done. You're always refining that. And I think that's why I love this craft so much.
So, the title may not have existed in your mind at the time of Overland. Maybe you weren't aware of that title or that name. Mm-hmm. But were you always overlanding? Were you always an outdoor guy? Were you always, camping, a four-wheeler or whatever?
I really wasn't. In 2006, the family and I, we moved all the way from Wichita, Kansas. They're in the Midwest, so there really isn't too much outdoor stuff over there. But when we got out here, I actually saw a mountain for the first time, seeing outside of the passenger window on the plane, Mount Rainier. It was a perfect sunset, and I think the bug even then may have started of just everything outdoors. Here in the Pacific Northwest, I don't know how many of you have been out here where you guys are all located, but we live in such a beautiful, beautiful area, and I think it just naturally evolved of wanting to get out on hikes, wanting to get out on doing camping trips, and then maybe taking that even further and kind of developing that into overlanding, all self-sufficient travel. And I think it just was a natural progression, but one where I just wanted to push the envelope even further.
So that's interesting. I'm from the Midwest too. I'm originally from Chicago.
Right on.
And so I know the difference in this geography versus where you're from. And it's a huge difference. Well, that kind of made me think of something to ask you. Because of that, would you recommend for someone to just off the cuff maybe visit a different region of America to get a different experience?
Absolutely.
Because it sounds like a different area, a different region, a different geography was the complete stimulus for you to go in the direction that you are.
100%. I think so. You really gain an appreciation depending on the landscape that you're in, right? So the Midwest all the way to the East Coast. And I mean, honestly, with my work that I've done, I attended Overland Expo West in Flagstaff, Arizona, and I actually had the opportunity to drive down to that event. So everything in the Southwest, checking out some of the sites in Arizona, in Utah, and just seeing all the landscape that has to offer, because it's obviously a 180 from what we have here in the Pacific Northwest. So even for myself, as quick as that trip was, it just sparked, I think, even a new ambition of wanting to take the travels down there. And I think it could just showcase to somebody that you have a lot in your backyard.
Yes.
And I don't think you have to do massive, grand world trips. Granted, they're fun. I don't think you have to do that to really embrace that sense of adventure.
So would I be right in surmising the bottom line is, no matter what, get out.
Simple as that.
Get out.
Simple as that.
Get out.
Get out.
So, like I told you, I've been following your YouTube channel for a while. It inspires me all the time. I've lived here long enough where I can figure out sometimes where you are, and so it's even gotten me to go to certain places. Yeah. Like I've gone to a few places near the Olympic Peninsula that I wouldn't have gone to until I saw you, and I was like, yeah, I got to go there.
There you
go. Whatever. So it's very inspiring. I'm sure it's inspiring to others, and if you take the opportunity and check them out, I'm confident you'll be inspired too. So I want to talk about the Pacific Northwest because we have this unique that we're not from here.
Yep.
You pretty much already said it's almost like a shock to the system, the differences. Go into that a little bit more.
Yeah.
You coming here, and it doesn't have to be about when you first came here. Talk about the Pacific Northwest.
Yeah. So I would say for those who don't know, the Pacific Northwest, we're getting a slight drizzle. It does rain a lot, but you know what? I think that creates an atmosphere that's unlike anywhere else. We have so much, and maybe we'll just even focus on Washington since where we're both at. We have so much even just in this state. Obviously with the Olympic Peninsula, you have the rainforest and the beautiful ocean coast. We move inland, we have the entire Cascade Range and just pure mountain peaks that you can climb and conquer and do so many different activities. All are lakes and river systems. And then you head even further east of central Washington and over, and you almost have this beautiful desert-like open plain. So I always kind of joke that no matter what direction you drive, you're gonna find some type of adventure. And depending on what your taste is or what you like to do, there's just so much to do. And that's just the trip itself. Once you get there, the opportunities opportunities are endless. So whether you like to do mountain biking, rock climbing, you know, whatever it may be, just normal hiking, anything like that, there is so much to do. And I think Washington, it holds a very special place in my heart too, because we have also 3 national parks, right? We have the North Cascades, the Olympic Peninsula, as well as Mount Rainier. And that alone is just amazing. Granted, Utah does beat us with all their national parks, but even with ours here, they all are very drastically different.
Yes.
You get a different taste depending on where you go, and I think that would bring a lot of adventure to those, depending on what you're looking for, right? I mean, for myself, Mount Rainier holds probably the closest to my heart. I had the opportunity to spread my father's ashes at the summit, 14,410 feet up there, so that was a feat for myself.
Respect.
So that was one where I think it almost even came full circle. Like I had mentioned earlier, flying in, seeing Rainier for the first time, to now standing on top of it. So it's kind of one of those situations where you fully embrace where you're at, and you just have to get out and do it. Don't let gear hold you back. Don't let what vehicle you drive hold you back. Granted, they're cool, they're great, but don't let social media influence what you should have. I think you can start anywhere and make your trip as grand or small as you want. I work Monday through Friday, and I have 48 hours to go out and explore, and I make it happen. And you can too. And I think that's the whole point of the channel, to really showcase that no matter what adventure you're into, you can do it.
Well said.
So
The reason I wanted to talk about the Pacific Northwest and Washington is, and I want to see if you have this similar sentiment. I've got a chip on my shoulder about Washington and the Pacific Northwest. You know, I travel, I get around, and everybody's always talking about, I want to go here, I want to go there, and I'm never hearing them say Oregon or Washington. And just like you said, the places that they're talking about, I can show you a place just like it here.
Yep.
And it might even be better.
Yeah.
So I've got a chip. I literally, I'm not embarrassed. I have a chip on my shoulder. I wish more people knew about it. I feel like a stepchild compared to other states. What do you think about that?
I would agree. I would agree, because I think we're just kind of shoved up here in the corner, and maybe a lot just don't know, or it's maybe just not on the radar for some. But I feel like by sharing our travels that we have up here, all the interviews with incredible people and groups that you have done, I think in time we can reach a new audience of those who want to come out and see the Pacific Northwest and do it any time of year. Granted, summer travels tend to bring a little bit more, but you know what? The winter up here is fantastic.
Wow.
Fantastic.
I agree.
And you know, we're creeping up on summer, and there's still snow-capped mountains. So whether you're into any type of snow sports or just like to do winter camping, I love it myself. I get eaten alive in the summer by mosquitoes, so winter camping is probably more my favorite. But I think there's a lot to be had up here in the Pacific Northwest any time of year, and no matter where you go, especially the peninsula, because there's going to be far fewer crowds, I think, when you head out that direction, and you almost have the whole coastline to yourself, which is really nice. So there's that.
I agree. So how are you liking the new vehicle that you got?
I love it.
And when I say new, it's because you've done so much to it. It's like it's a new vehicle.
It is. It is. It's this is the 2017 Toyota Tacoma. Got a name, YETI, but it's been I would say a work in progress. I don't think we're ever done with our builds, right?
No.
Anybody that says you are, I think they're lying, because I've told myself that, and then I find a new purchase happening. So, but it's been great. It has served me well. Those who know the channel know that it's kind of gone through several stages of builds, but each has served a specific purpose or a learning experience as well. But it's not, I would say, crazy modified. It like I mentioned earlier, everything has been a need versus a want. Like, I have gone on trips where I felt like I needed this, and it's helped fill that void. So it's been nice in one way with all the different setups and configurations as far as tents and canopies and bed racks and stuff like that, to just try it out, right? And it's been nice to kind of have those conversations with my audience who maybe are just getting into this for the first time, and you attend one of these rallies or overland expos, and you're just lost. Where do you start? What's your first purchase? I think it's kind of cool to showcase my personal experience of, yes, I've had this and I've had that, and I've done these types of trips and this types of weather conditions, and especially up here in the Pacific Northwest with our weather elements, that some are pros and cons and whatever it may be depending on your situation. So it's kind of nice to try them all out. So even with the open bed rack and the I Camper tent, it's been a really great experience so far. But it's been fun. I think the latest addition here has been the mud terrain tires. I might be saying that was a want versus a need.
Yeah, I get
but
it.
I've never tried mud terrain tires, so I kind of wanted to give those a go. But otherwise, it's been a good build. It's been fun.
So we were talking about the build, and you were talking about all of the different changes that you've made, but you specifically, there's a lesson to be learned from that, because I'm always telling my audience that I happen to live in a neighborhood where there's a lot of posers. I see some of the most beautiful vehicles in the world, so I'm kind of anti-upgrades a little bit, but I'm not in this case, because there's something about your story that overrides that. Yeah, this vehicle's been in transition ever since he's gotten it, but he's never, ever stopped going out. I don't recall at any point, even when you didn't even have a tent anymore, and you were like kicking it every weekend.
Yeah.
So that's the lesson to learn that I want everybody to get straight in their head. It's not about, and this is a beautiful vehicle, I love your vehicle, but it's not about that. It's about getting that vehicle somewhere and doing something. And that's what I love about your channel.
Thank you.
I see a lot of gear. I love your vehicle. I see a lot of other vehicles I love. But what separates you is your vehicle actually goes somewhere. I'm seeing photos of it on cliffs and mountains and creeks and all over the place. That's the key. I'm going to keep saying it, and you're going to get tired of me saying it, and I'm not going to stop saying it. Get out. Get out. One of the things I talk about often is a lot of people are very underwhelmed when they see my vehicle, because they're assuming from my travels that, oh, he's got a 5-inch lift and he's got 40-inch tires and stuff, and then when they finally see my vehicle and I'm explaining the specs on it, they're really underwhelmed.
Sure.
My point being is because once I could get somewhere, I was done. It's about getting out there and doing it.
Yep.
And that's what I love about your channel. That's why I've been on your back about this interview. I needed this interview.
It's been a while, guys. It's been a while. I'm sure Phil will fill you in.
And he has, wait a minute, he hasn't been avoiding me. He's been busy, I've been busy, the weather, all types of different things.
Something.
We even set a date, and then the weather was like horrible.
It was.
Horrible for what we were going to do. Because you may have even went out that weekend.
Probably.
Yeah, so it wasn't, so we're not fair weather outdoor people. It just wasn't right for what we were going to do.
Exactly.
So I hope this don't catch you off guard. Do you sell the hats?
Do I sell the hats? I do. There's all kinds of merchandise, actually, from stickers to hats and hoodies and all that good stuff. You can see more information right on the CONQUESTOverland.com, the store right there, and even learn about more of my story. And even if you have specific questions about the build on YETI, I list everything there. But feel free to shoot me a message. There is a contact on there, and I would be more than happy to answer some questions or just spark up a conversation if you happen to be attending any of these events.
I was talking about a hat for me.
But
that's good. You told them.
I do have a hat for you. Don't worry. Next time you see him in an interview, it'll be with the Conquest hat.
I'm just messing
with you.
I'm just messing with
but everybody else.
So I want to talk about Northwest Overland with you.
Yes.
And I want to come from the angle of specifically you being here and not being associated with anything. Because generally I'll see him at different events and you're stuck at a booth the whole time. And I hate to say the word stuck because you're full of smiles. You seem to be happy to see the people, but you have to be at that booth.
Yep.
Tell them why you're here.
So Northwest Overland Rally, this is a good event. This is a beautiful event. Honestly, it's very community, very engaging and connecting, I would say, compared to most. this is one where you really get to learn and hang out with your neighbor, so to speak, right? I think it's really one where you can walk up and down the aisles and spark up a conversation because maybe something about their vehicle or setup intrigues you, or you might be having a question on how you could refine your own setup. And this event is just so open arms that I love it. I love coming out here. One, it's local, it's in our home state. It's definitely growing, I would say, here within the Pacific Northwest of just kind of having our own little event up in this area. But it's just fun to learn. I would say this is a great starting point, whether you're a novice or a veteran, that you can just attend some of the classes out here that span a wide range of different categories and opportunities of things. There's raffles, there's food, there's off-road trails, there's of course vendors where you can see what some of the latest and greatest products are, but it's just one where you can connect with your fellow friend and family and whatever it may be and just enjoy and be in a relaxed setting. And
we were talking about Northwest Overland Rally, and that you are just here to kick it, basically.
That's it.
So
that is it.
What would make you come to one of these events where you're already going to all of these events? So why would you take the time to, on your free time, show up to this particular event?
Because this one is, I would say, the best event for me to connect with my local audience. This is where I started the channel. This is where I'm currently still primarily hosting a lot of my adventures with the channel, given my work situation. So it makes sense to just be with the audience and those that support our travels and connect with everybody. I think the biggest thing about anything in overlanding is the community and being able to connect with those who are doing the same types of travels, ask about their upcoming trips, check out everybody's setup, and host and attend some of these classes together. So absolutely, when you love what you do and have the passion for it, such as I, and I think a lot of us here, which is why we're all here, you live, eat, sleep, and breathe it, all of that. And anytime I have an opportunity to do anything out here in this type of field or whatever, absolutely, you will find me there. I would want to connect with everybody, and it's great to just run into good friends. So
I love it. So how many years did you say that you've lived here?
This has been since 2006. Probably not in the best mental math state of mind,
Okay.
whatever that would be.
I just wanted to conceptualize before I ask this question, because I've asked everybody this question. So before I have a statement kind of before I ask this question. You know, I go to a lot of events, and I've kind of dissected them into three tiers. There's the first tier, and that's Overland Expo. Overland Expos are the top tier,
Sure.
number one. They're by themselves. I don't think there's anything similar on the same level as them.
Sure.
They're their own animal. And then there's that second tier where, like, I consider Northwest Overland Rally on that second tier. And then the third tier is, I just call them money grubbers. They just, a few vendors, they got you cramped up in a camp spot,
Sure.
and they just trying to get some money out of you. So we won't even talk about the third tier. But in my opinion, of the second tier events, this is the only event that I recommend. Because I get asked often about, you go to all of these places, where would you recommend? For second tier, this is the only event that I recommend. Now, you don't have to agree with me. I just want to hear what you have to say on that.
I would completely agree. I think this is a perfect balance of the right amount of vendors, the spacing to have everybody, the location of nearby activities and services or whatever it may be. And I think it's the right balance of just what they host in their schedule. You know, it's great to see all the products, that's cool and stuff, but I think a large part of it is also balancing that with educational classes, hosting trail rides, you know, getting everybody together for a fire that they do with raffles, and getting to meet a lot of the local businesses out here. So I think it's it's different. It's not this level 1 where there's just so much and you leave some of these events and you're like, what did I just see? I don't even know. Like the dollars of what I just saw add up so fast that I don't even know what happened. So this is a nice balance of all of that, and I think a lot of the audience that comes out here is of the same mindset, that we're all just here to relax and hang out, but still enjoy and see and do a lot of those things.
So I just wanted them to hear it from someone else, because I think maybe my audience might think that I'm really, really overselling this event. And another thing they might think I'm really overselling is the location. You kind of sort of mentioned it. Could you go in a little more detail, the opportunities that you have within an hour, 30 minutes, 5 minutes away from here?
There is a lot. So the Northwest Overland Rally, for those that don't know, it's in Plain, Washington, so it's just outside of Leavenworth, which is one of the larger towns. But the reason why this is such a prime area is it is in northern Washington, if you're looking at the state, if you're kind of new to the geography. But there's so much here. Like I had mentioned, there's a lot of trail rides that they host, whether you do them independently or with guides here that are part of the event. And that can span anywhere, with the Wenatchee National Forest that's out here. And I would think probably one of the biggest trails that everybody loves to do is the Washington Backcountry Discovery Route. You have that pretty much right on our border. I don't exactly know how far away I would say we are from it.
We are about 20 minutes from the first entrance point that you can get onto it here. I've actually, you guys know, I've actually taken the Bridge of the Gods all the way to the border and came back to the event. So if you're traveling from, maybe you don't want to do it because you live here in Washington, but if you're coming from somewhere else and you want to get a lot of trail time, you can practically take trails the whole way here.
Yeah. You could be on dirt pretty much the entire way.
And here's the kicker. You can take the main roads and it's still going to just be totally beautiful. You're going to pass rivers and mountains and all types of things, no matter what you do. But I want to make sure that you know there's off-road opportunities, there's camping opportunities, bucket list opportunities.
Yeah, and you're within a stone's throw of the North Cascades National Park.
That's right.
And for those, again, who don't know, I mean, it's probably one of the more remote national parks, I would say, as far as just having everything kind of spread out a little bit. But even if you just stay, like Phil mentioned, on just the highway, there is a lot to see and a lot of sites that you can just pull off the road. And I think Diablo Lake is probably one of the best ones. It doesn't require anything besides parking your vehicle and walking just a few feet to the overlook. And for those who don't know, do a quick Google. The images will speak for themselves. It's absolutely stunning, and there's plenty of opportunities depending on what suits your flavor of what you want to do. There are great off-road trails. There are great campgrounds if you want to keep it easy. If you're into doing any water sports of kayaking, canoeing, you have all that right there too. And I mean, and even if you go into the town of Leavenworth, they're always hosting all kinds of events all year long, and it's a beautiful little town too. So you got a lot.
And when you were mentioning Cascade National Park, and then you went on further to mention about a highway, I want to talk about that highway that goes through Cascade. It's US 20 here in Washington, if you don't know. Once that highway enters into the actual Cascade National Park, there's a portion of it that is almost identical to going to the Sun Road, in my opinion. The same mountainscapes, actually taller mountains. The snow cap lasts longer. It's actually a little safer because you're not right on the edge. So I wanted to go back to that. We have terrain and geography that mimic other famous places that you go to. It's a win-win coming here.
It is. It is. I think for those who kind of seen the channel, that one of the very earlier episodes that I've done was actually just that, visiting up in the North Cascades. Like after our highway crew cleared it, because it gets a ton of snow, it actually shuts down in the winter months, so they actually have to plow all the snow out. I mean, we're talking feet, upwards of 30 feet of snow that they have to clear through. But once it is open, the drive is stunning. It is absolutely beautiful. So again, it doesn't take much to come out and see it.
So I want to talk more about your channel. your actual channel. Because if they leave away with anything, I want them to get outside, come to the Pacific Northwest, and check out what you're doing, because I love what you're doing. How do you come up with all of these different locations? Because you practically do a show every week in a different place. That's got to be challenging.
It is. It definitely is. I would say that, again, I think this kind of goes back to one of the earlier questions of the Pacific Northwest, right? You can drive in any direction and hit anything that suits your fancy. And for me, it's time of year, what the weather looks like, where I want to go. Honestly, half the time I just pull up my navigation system and say, where to this weekend? And I honestly just kind of go from there. There are, even if I see and go to a general area of where I have gone previously, maybe I'll take that right instead of the left and see where that road goes, because you're going to get a different experience even if it's in the same area. And I think a lot of my time is spent in the Olympic Peninsula. I would say a large majority. One, because we do get a significant amount of snowfall, and a lot of our upper elevation trails are a little bit more difficult to get through, but the peninsula in the winter is gorgeous, and you still have everything from your lakes to your rivers to the national park to the coastline to your high mountain peaks. I mean, there is a lot out there, so weekend trips are easy to do.
And you don't have to do rough and rugged like he does in the peninsula. You can do whale watching. You can do storm watching.
Yeah.
I'm a fan of storm watching. And if you don't know about storm watching, I mean, you're right there on the coast, waves taller than you, sometimes shooting over you.
Oh, yeah.
You have to be totally covered in a real raincoat, not one of those permeable ones. You have to have like a rubber raincoat because there's so much water. Our rainforest is, there is no better rainforest in the United States, period. That's just a fact. So if you are interested in a rainforest, the peninsula, there are some of the most gorgeous little small towns in the area. Forks, Port Angeles. So for you to pick that as your stomping grounds, you don't have to explain that to me. But I wanted my audience to understand that.
There's a lot to see, and a lot of what we're highlighting is just the landscape. And you mentioned a great point with all the towns, right? If you have more time to visit and see and support a lot of these local shops and eateries and artist galleries and whatever it may be, right? I mean, there's so much out there, and it's unique in its own way, given the area that it's located. So you just have to get out, experience it, do it, just plan the calendar and make it happen.
Well, these kind of interviews on YouTube, people sometimes they kind of jump around instead of watching the whole thing. So I want to make sure that you once again tell people how to find you, and especially on YouTube, because I want you to see what he's doing.
Yeah, if you just hop on YouTube or any search engine of your choice, Conquest Overland, as he is pointing out there, that is my channel. And again, everything that I do is just to showcase that you don't have to be full-time on the road. You don't have to have the most outlandish budget and vehicle and whatever it may be. Again, I hold down a day job like practically everybody else, Monday through Friday. And I have 48 hours on the weekend to go out and play, and I make it happen. And I do it with family and friends. We even got my mom out to go and do some trips.
I've watched.
So she's all about it, So I think whatever the adventure is, you can make these great memories, and it doesn't have to be so, just over the top where you feel like you have to travel so far or be on the road so far. You'd be amazed with what you can do with the right planning. Get a little bit of education on all the gear and whatnot to just get you out there and back safely and everything else. But yeah, that is what the channel is about, just to encourage, educate, and inspire you guys to just get out there and do it, and don't let anything hold you back.
Well said. So, thank you so much.
Phil, thank you.
I'm so glad that we finally got an opportunity to do this. Like I told you, you were one of my bucket list interviews. I hope that it's been conveyed on this camera, my reason why, and if not, hopefully you'll go to his YouTube channel and it'll be all clear to you then why I'm so hyped up on this guy. I'm going to talk to my audience real quick, and then we're going to end it.
Absolutely.
Well, guys, you already know what I'm going to say. Stay safe, tread lightly, and hopefully I'll see you here or on the trail soon.
You have been listening to Waypoint Overland's Random Waypoints. Like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more.